lawyers, law firms, accountants, accounting firms. I'm going to highlight possible pain points that you guys may be aware of and how to get from that stage of pain points and challenges to the other side, which is the alleviation of those pain points or the alleviation of those challenges, right? And I'm presenting this to you guys an overview of a point A to point B system where the bridge will be presented at the very end. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the law firms or for lawyers and the three possible pain points and the other side of it, right? So, where you're aiming to save yourself from or having an edge on. So, the first thing is having a stack of social leverage that justifies or enforces the value of your rates. So, this comes out of research that indicated that lawyers are under pressure to provide immense value at lower rates. And the objective is to not really lower our rates, is the objective would really be to prove that our rates are of our value, right? And then the second one, being the lawyer or law firm that has stacks approved to describe yourself as ethical, right? This derives out of a Quora post that asked the public what are the challenges and pain points that lawyers and or law firms are facing, and one of them replied, ethics, how we can prove ourselves to be ethical in social media platforms or in marketing, right? And third point being even more proven as worthy to stay in demand. So this came out of an article that was saying that there is more supply of lawyers than the demand for lawyers. So if you're in demand right now, we're looking for ways to stay in demand or to even grow our demand. Or if you're not that much in demand, we're looking for ways to go in demand. Or if you're in demand and just want to stay in the same demand that you're in, this may be a way. The system that I'm going to present to you might just be a way for you. And let's go to point B, which is the other side, the completion of the desired outcome in point A, the zone, the safe spot. You've proven yourself as the lawyer or law firm whose rates are valued and justified in the digital world. You've proven, no question, on being the lawyer or law firm that is the most ethical, and you've proven yourself as the lawyer or law firm that deserves to stay in demand. So the other side. So now let's go to our accountants, right? Same principle pretty much, where you're aiming to save yourself from or having an edge from. Having uneducated customers about your services concerning expectations and what questions to ask. This came out of an article that was describing the challenges and pain points that accountants and accounting firms face concerning customer services, and one of them is customer education. That customers are not educated enough to know what to expect and what time frames to expect, and basically overall expectations and what to know or what to perceive out of the service that they're about to get, which can ultimately lead to too much expectation and disappointment from the customer, which can affect your customer service, right? Second one, be that accountant or accounting firm that is transparent about their operations. In this article, it stated that accountants and accounting firms, there is a challenge for them to be transparent about their operations to their shareholders, to their customers. Ultimately, everyone who invests in you as a company, as a business, or as a sole proprietor, to prove yourself as transparent, right? Being the accountant or accounting firm that has an edge on AI because of evidence of your people and social skills. So, this article was stating that how AI will replace accountants in a year's time, right? And it also presented some solutions that have an edge, and one of them was to prove yourself with social and people skills. So, basically, the connection part with customers. So, you need to develop a way to prove yourself as someone who's for the people and that anyone can connect with, right? And I'm gonna present to you a system that can just do just that, right? And this works because I'm gonna give an example concerning sports drinks, right? Logan Paul, KSI, they released a drink called Prime, which is pretty much the same thing as Gatorade and Powerade. So they have two big dogs, but they have equalized their competition in terms of revenue in a year. And the reason they did that is because they had a fan base that was loyal to them and loved them. And they were able to leverage that. And that's what we're looking to do as a lawyer, as an accountant, so on and so forth. And the other side will basically be the other side. The completion, the outcome, the desired outcome coming to pass, right? Your customers are educated enough, you're proving your transparency, and you've proven your social and people skills, right? So now let's take a look at the bridge. how we're going to get there, what materials to use, what tools we're going to use those materials. And two of those materials is going to be personal branding and providing a value funnel. And the tools will be disclosed here, right? So keep the point A's and point B's that I've stated in mind, right? So on this side, in this empty space, keep in mind the point A's that I've highlighted. And then at the very end here, keep in mind the point B's, right? But this system is not only to get from that point A to point B, but how we can get people to transaction on your services, and how, even if the people don't transaction on your service, how we can still monetize through through the system that we're about to implement. So the first thing to highlight is scattered gems, right? So this would be small segments in high volumes for social media. They are scattered in really short segments, but the information is going to be well presented that will give curiosity to the audience to know more. And the platforms, the tools, the hammer and nails, the scales, the tools for this to build that part of the material is using platforms like TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And then we can go to the next step, which for the people who are curious to go to the next step would be composed gems. So here the information will be more composed and in depth. So it won't be scattered. It will actually be presented well, and it will be concise and coherent that the audience can completely understand, and they will thank you for it. And the tools for this, the way we're going to build this part of the bridge is through a YouTube channel or an email list where we're going to give this in-depth information. And the next step is go into the monetization. So we're more than halfway done with this bridge to get to point B, the monetization. So through this well-presented information, there will be curiosity about where to next, right? Or it could even be all the way here that someone wants to actually transaction on your services because they've already trusted you in these two steps. But the very next step is monetization, where we can leverage double. And here's the way that you can monetize without directly needing your prospects to actually get your services. You offer paid communities, and these paid communities. And these paid communities, the offer would be you could implement this for yourself like this with terms of agreement concerning keeping information private. Obviously, the information y'all present is y'all want to keep it confidential, so y'all can make terms in agreement, but y'all can give information away so that they can apply for themselves, but through a transaction, right? It ain't going to be as expensive or as pricey as the actual service that you offer, but it's going to be a fraction, and you'll still be able to monetize, and people will still be able to benefit. But at the end of the day, some people will implement it for reals, but then some people, by seeing how much needs to be done, they will go to the transaction of your services because they see it's complicated and they don't want to implement it for themselves, and they're going to go to you because you presented it to them. And the tools for this is a Discord group and a Facebook group, right? And that's how we will get from the point A's that I've stated for each one of you and the point B's. And at the same time, how we can monetize it in two ways, through a monetization system or the actual transactions of your services. If you're curious to find out more on how this can be implementable for you, click the link below. It's not a link, but just book a call underneath the video that you're seeing right now on this website, or just contact me through my social media platforms or wherever you want to go, and I will give you more information. Or once you book a call with me, I will actually give you 2 implementation systems for 2 individual social media platforms. So there's nothing to lose here and everything to gain. And by the way, this is free as well. So if you're interested in learning more, you know what to do, and I'll see you soon.